Hi there.
Hi, Oksana. And is that Ellen also there today?
Yes, can you see me?
We can, very well, thank you.
Great. And you see, I have a brew cam, which is actually my iPhone.
I can see that.
Let me just turn that off. There we go. Can you see that without hearing me?
We can, yep.
Okay, just gonna mute it so it doesn't do the its usual.
We have more to join for sure. And then one location is going to have several people at it.
Okay. You can pin multiple screens, or if you want to pin, or you can just have everyone, whoever's speaking, viewable. It's up to you. So.
Oh, that's better. Oh, geez.
Oksana, you're looking very festive today.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a tea party.
A tea party. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you all family and friends, or just family?
Mostly family, but my mom is going to have some friends with her. So this was for
Okay.
her Mother's Day. So she'll have 3 friends with her.
Is
Barbara.
she Barbara? Okay. Well, she lives in Rogues Bluffs. Okay.
Yep.
Rogues Bluffs, yep. All right.
She's pretty good at Zoom, but she's 82. So we'll see how this goes, but she's pretty good at getting in.
Okay. Great.
And then we have someone from Germany joining us as well.
Yes, and Anna. She received her package. It sounds like.
She did, all set.
Yeah, she's gonna be with her friend too. Her friend
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
More than her cat.
and cat. She bought a tea at the vet for the kitty cat.
She bought tea for the cat.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Special.
Didn't know there was such a thing, Oksana.
I didn't know either.
It's Germany.
Tea for a cat?
I don't know, some kind of tea for the kitty cat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You're right. It's noisy in the background.
My tea kettle is brewing, so I'm gonna put you on.
Yeah, I'm gonna start mine too.
When should I start keto? Now or later?
Yeah, you can start it now. But it's because we'll have cooler water. We'll start with a lighter tea first. I'm actually at home. I'm not at the tea house. I don't know if you've been to the tea house, but we're open today. So it was not for takeout and for retail. So I thought it might be a little distracting and hard to do. So I'm doing it in front of my tea cabinet at home.
Oh, that's cool. You got tea pots in there and
Yeah, there's a lot of teaware and
teaware.
collected.
Now I mean, in the future, I want to buy that. What do you call it? In the,
Taiwan?
yeah.
Yes.
I saw they have like cool, like a set of the, yep.
Yeah, we have, this is a local gal that makes these, and we sell them as a set. So she sells this together.
Mm-hmm.
Set, and they're made in South Portland, right over 2 streets over. I'm actually going over there next week, this coming week, to videotape her making them on the wheel. So right about
What
that.
is special about the Gaiwan?
It means lidded bowl. It's Chinese in origin. So it just makes it easier. Like if I hold this up, you can see that it has a little bit of a lip.
Mm-hmm.
And this one has some marks in it so that it strains when you're pouring. And this is great for reinfusible teas. I wouldn't suggest it for herbals or one steeping teas, but for green, white, yellow, oolong, pu'er, and some black teas that we re-steep multiple times. This is a great It's great, nice to have some sort of filter. There's also like, this is a pot that has an example of a pot with, I don't know if you can see it,
Mhm.
a filter in there.
Yep. Oh, it's inside. Yeah.
Yeah, it's inside. And this here is another version. This one is from Japan. So it has,
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I picked that up in Japan. And then there's the standard issue, which we offer and we use in the tea room. Little lidded bowl. You just have to be a little, this one's better for cooler teas. I don't like using it for boiling water because everything gets hot. You have to be holding it on the edge to pour. It's another version. Now everyone's probably using strainers today. Everyone has their handled strainer. Let's see, looks like Barbara's here.
Oh, I got this.
Just looking at the different folks coming in.
Yeah.
There's Mom coming in.
Mhm.
Hey, Mom. Can you see the screen okay from their table?
Oh, I don't know why.
You're on mute, Mom.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's up to you all if you want to be on unmute because you all know each other and there won't be distractions really. If you want to talk to each other, that's fine to be on mute. I know like when I do workshops, if there's any kind of background noise, then it can be distracting.
What to do with the sound? The sound is okay.
Mom, you might want to tip your screen a little bit down.
Maybe because yeah.
You're on mute, Mom. We can't hear you.
Actually, I think I might be able to.
There you go. That's good. Now you can see from the table. Yep. And she's gonna leave it on mute.
I think I can unmute her though. Let's see. No, I can only ask to unmute her. Okay. For a few more participants, looks like we have 2, 3, 4, so another 4,
Yeah.
including Germany.
And Brian and I think Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
I lost it. I lost the connection.
So who has been to the tea room? Sandra, or have you been to the tea room? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to the tea room. I've been to the one in Portland. That's
Yeah.
the one I like to go to. I haven't been there since COVID, but I'm hoping to get down there soon.
Yeah, we're not serving right now, so you're not missing much. We're just doing retail and takeout. We're hoping this or next week to open. It's kind of a staffing issue right now. So. I'm recording this so you can have it after the session is over if you want.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I can put it somewhere. I'm not sure if it's going to be, it will be in the cloud or figure out where to put it. Yeah, we did a class with 32 people in March. So that was a much larger version. So we did have some folks on,
A little late.
all in the US though.
A little late. So Anya is gonna be a few minutes late.
Okay. don't see anybody asking me to come in, so.
I never heard from Ashley yesterday to be able to send her the link, so I'm hoping she'll respond and she can join in when she can.
Okay.
You're noisy.
Is it on mute? I did
Yeah,
unmute.
hi, Mom. Hi, Karen and Karen.
Hi, how are you, Lorraine?
All good.
I'm incognito.
No, that's Michelle.
Michelle Incognito.
That's my daughter Lorraine.
Oh, hello.
Well, Mom, we're missing a few, but we're probably gonna get started here.
Okay.
Yeah, we can wait a little bit, or if you want to start and they can just jump in, it's up to you.
Maybe give it to like 2 minutes. something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
You got everything you need, Mom?
I think I do, and then some.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if you see.
That's Oksana.
Oh, I'm still sticking around.
Okay, Anya said she's gonna join us.
Everyone has their kit. You can use, if you have a guy one, you can use it, but the strainer there.
By the teapot because
Um,
of its back.
I'm going to use the my teaware, but we can also use the strainer. I have a mug here too. You can easily use a mug.
I got big ones too. Big bugs.
Do I need to raise this up? I was debating about raising this up a little bit. Yeah. Is that okay? Is it too high?
No, looks good.
Okay, great.
So do we need to mute ourselves?
I think it's fine because there's only 4 of you right now, and there's not a lot of background noise. There's probably more background noise here. My husband's here, so clanking around.
I like Mom's background, and ladies look so nice in there.
I think that's some of your artwork, Oksana.
Do
and
you
Anya.
recognize this, Oksana?
Hi, Mom.
Oh, wow.
Your
Hi,
mother gave me
Karen. Hi,
this.
Michelle.
Your mother gave me this tablecloth.
Yeah, that one. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I guess I'll start. At least I can go over the technology aspects of it. So we have, my laptop is the main camera. It says L&K, and then I have a Brewcam, which is my phone, basically. And I can do close-ups of the teaware and what we're doing if we need to see things more close up. But I keep that off unless we're doing something that where we need to share.
Just like this.
So you can pin those if you'd like. I've pinned both of them just so I can see them. If you have any questions at any time, just speak out. There's only 4 of you right now, and even if we have 8, that's not a problem. So what I thought I'd do is go over tea. You received your box of tea, and you received the strainer and the paperwork in it, that little sheet, which is in the box underneath my tray. And that just basically gives you some overview of the teas, as well as how we brew tea. Oh, here we go. Anna Dunn is here. Yes. We'll give her a minute to enter.
I have this.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, Anya.
A cat. I just put my cat in an upstairs room so that people will be walking across my tea presentation.
Mine loves tea. No, just-
There's Anya. She's coming.
Hi, Anya.
Hello, Anya.
hello, hello. Oh, hello, Cookie.
Crazy.
Cats and tea, they kind of go together. Anyway, so I just talked about what I'll be using for teaware. I don't know if anyone's brewing with anything besides. I see all the teaware behind in Barbara's photo there. So I'm not sure what you're using. I sent you one of these. You can use this as in a mug is probably the best way, and just pouring hot water over it, and then lifting it out and putting it aside. I have a tray here for discarding leaves. So if that's helpful, if you want to use the same leaves over again later, you can just empty the strainer on the tray, or the brewing device. I also have a measuring cup. In the tea industry, everything is done by milliliters and grams as opposed to ounces. So we're always jumping back and forth and brewing by Celsius. So we're always jumping back and forth between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So I will tell you that. That's why your little packages say both the Celsius and the Fahrenheit temperature on there. We sell by the ounce in the tea room, and if you were to go to practically any other tea purveyor, besides a Dobra tea, you would see that they all sell in grams, by the 100 gram, 50 gram. So it's pretty rare, unless it's herbals, to sell by the ounce in the world. Everywhere else they do it by grams. So just a little, we buy our teas by the kilo. So that's just how the tea world is, basically because of where it's coming from. I did share a link with you all of the tea map, which I can share that. I will share my screen if I can. I feel like that is a really good overview of, can I share my screen from here? I know I can, the question is where? So there it is, share screen. I'm just going to show this one for a bit. So you can see here, if you roll over the left-hand side, oops, I zoomed in. I said not to do that, right? It kind of zooms in, but if you roll over the left-hand side of these here on your, you'll see where they light up, and you can see where the different tea growing regions are. And so Taiwan, we have, and this is where the teas that we're tasting are coming from. So they're coming from all over Asia, basically. And as far south as Sri Lanka, which is further over here. We have Ceylon Adams Peak is from there. We have the Mengding from the Mengding Mountains, the yellow tea, tea from Sichuan province, and the Japanese teas.
Is it too far away?
I don't know, you want me to move it over?
Is it what it do? Can we see it if it's here?
But you can also look at that map anytime. You can look at it after the class just to see where all the teas are. I actually have to add Sri Lanka on there. Sri Lanka, I didn't.
Is that any better? Can you see it when you sit over there?
Oops, there we go. I'm gonna save it. Here it goes. So yeah, so tea is grown primarily in Asia. There's a couple guys growing it in New Zealand. There's some grown in Hawaii. It's not really that better on US soil. It's actually, there's one place in Charleston that we visited. Tea from Taiwan and China is, been grown and brewed for thousands of years. So it's, and it's all about the terroir. It's similar to wine, similar to, infected by the environment, by the soil, but whether it's low grown or high grown. So if it's grown in a river valley, or if it's like in Assam, India, or if it's grown on a mountain in Taiwan. So the tea plant, which is really fascinating, I'm going to now share a different screen here. Let's see. Let's see if we can find that screen. Go back to this one. Can I move this? There. So I have this little slideshow I'm sharing with you. Can you see that slideshow?
Mm-hmm.
So this here is the tea plant. It's Camellia sinensis and Camellia sinensis, and then you get into Camellia sinensis assamica. So the tea plant is Camellia sinensis. It's not herbal teas. Those are tisanes. The tea plant, how it's processed, where it's grown. Here you can see the leaves. I think this is in Japan. This photo was taken. Whether it's bud pick or whether it's a larger leaf. I think like in the Yinzen, you can see that those leaves, those are buds in the Yinzen, the white tea. In the Mengding, those are buds as well, the yellow tea. So you're looking at this little leaf here. Just when it comes out, this is actually a little further along than the pick that they'd probably choose. But this gives you an idea of a tea leaf and a tea plant. Just gonna move on here if I can, the next screen. Oops. So yeah, 2 leaves in a bud. You've heard of the tea company, 2 leaves in a bud? That's where they got it. So in China, they do hand plucking, and you can see it's mostly done by women. There's usually a man that oversees the plucking. Here they are in a tea field that goes on for quite a while. These fields are quite large, these estates. And these are yellow, believe it or not, yellow fly traps. That's what those yellow pieces of plastic are. To keep the bugs off. The tea has some natural qualities so that it deters insects, believe it or not. And so it's not necessarily, it doesn't need pesticides. A lot of the time the tea does very well on its own. So there's some withering leaves. You can see how uniform the pluck is. That's only gonna happen with a hand pluck. So people plucking the tea, and they pluck by hand in Korea and China, India. Japan is the only country pretty much that plucks by machine. And I think I have a photo of that. So here they are sorting by hand. Tea is a very hands-on process. As you can see here, sorting out the large leaf that's over here and the finer leaf that's here. This is for Luan Guapian. If you ever had the watermelon seeds in the tea room, that tea. So you can see that the women are doing it again. So doing the separation. And here the men are doing the firing. So they stir the leaves and to dry them and stop that oxidation so they don't turn into a different tea, because as soon as a tea oxidizes, I don't know if you have your handout here, but green tea is unoxidized, and then you get into white tea, and that actually is just set to wither. So that has some oxidation similar to a banana. Remember, if you know how a banana browns when it sits out, that is the same idea. So I'll just go through these here. So they're moving this basket, this large basket, over the fire, taking it away, fluffing the leaves, and then putting it back on. And this is in China. So Luan Guapian is Chinese tea. Here they are, packed tea. This is ready for shipping. You can see the ovens in the back where they fire the tea. And they put it in those big baskets and then into the bags. That's me in Japan. You can see how uniform the fields are compared to that Chinese photo where it's pretty flat. This is all because they're cutting it with machines and using like something like a lawnmower. And then they have something that's a high tractor, which I think I have a photo of here. You can kind of see the covering here. This is Kabasecha, the tea that we have in this tea kit, actually is called covered tea. So this here is how they get that covered tea. And why do they cover it? To stress the plant and force it to push out more green and more, it makes for a better quality tea. So they stress the plant. So you can see these fans here. These fans are actually to keep the frost off the plants. They look kind of useless to me when you think about it. These little fans are going to help with frost, but they have the technology and they figured it out. So it does somehow keep the frost off the plants so they can have a longer growing season. There's that covered tea. You can see the fans. This is in Japan. So if you have any questions, just jump in. This is a stepped tea garden in Japan, Shizuko. Shizuka. It's where we get our Yamacha from. So that's a Japanese tea that we carry. It means Yama, means mountain, and Cha means tea. Also, Shan means mountain in Chinese or Taiwanese. And if you hear Taiwanese, like Ali Shan is a Taiwanese tea. And that means mountain tea. So Yamacha. This is the petite couple that farms that field. I think they've since retired. They were in their 70s, and they've been picking in that steppes garden for decades. So tea pluckers, and they have a whole processing facility there. That's their step garden with their processing facility in front. So I just thought I'd show you some photos here to get some ideas. Different kinds of tea. We have sencha and looks like hojicha on the right. That's the machine in Japan, how they pluck it. He's riding high above the bushes. And there's another version. I'm not getting any people coming in, so I guess, maybe they might show up a little later. Here is shade. Oopsie, sorry. That's the shade grown tea. So that would be kabusecha or gyokuro, which is a highly prized green tea. It's very brothy, but again, stresses the plants when it's shaded like this. The gyokuro, I think, is shaded for 21 days and then plucked. If you ever had matcha tea is from Japan, and that is a ground leaf. So if you've ever had a matcha latte or you drink a bowl of matcha, that you're actually drinking the leaf. So it's that very green tea that's been forced and undercover to come up with the green, that highly caffeinated quality. So here we are, and this is in Taiwan. Again, we have the Lalashan mountain tea. This is just a view with palm trees, and rarely do you get a view of palm trees and tea, and that's only in Taiwan. This one is tea fields in Taiwan. So you get an idea of how tea is grown. It's here we are in a different kind of environment. There we are. That was in Taiwan. Oolong. These are oolong teas that we were checking out. So the oolong that we have is Tongting. And that one is from Taiwan. So may or may not be from exactly this field, because the way tea works is that either you, like in Japan, you go to an auction and the processor buys the tea as a rough form of farmer's tea, and then he processes it, and his skill at processing it makes it a yamacha, or he knows how to process it to make it into his recognized tea. So tea processors are they're the ones that make the tea happen. Really, the farmer grows it and takes it to a certain level, and that rough tea needs to be further refined and made into Tamarikucha or Kamiaricha. So in Japan, it's a little different. In China, it's usually from farm to factories, the same producer. We're saying actually in Korea as well. That's in Taiwan. Just beautiful scenery. If you ever get to go, Taiwan's great. Here we are processing tea leaves. This is they're drying them and we're putting them into a roller here to dry them and fluff them. So it's all in the processing, and these drums are for heating, rolling, shaping, drying, which you'll see on the sheet here. So tea buds. These are buds. These are just where the tea seeds are in. After they flower. So they're kind of a pod. They don't really use the flower. I mean, they do make a tea out of the flowers, but really the tea is in the leaf. It's not really the bud or the flower. And actually, if the plant goes to flower, goes to seed, that tea is usually, it's just a lower quality tea because the plant has put all its effort into creating buds and flowers. So you know how that goes if you're a gardener. That's the Azores. So the Azores has tea, is one of the only places in Europe that has that grows tea. It's the only place that grows tea. I think there's actually one place near Porto in Portugal that also grows it, Two women started it, and but tea does not grow on European soil for the most part. Here we are. Here's the pluckers that we met in Sri Lanka, but just before COVID, we were there. Again, women going out to the tea fields to pluck. And they were in the back of a truck. And sometimes they have, you know, like these are, I think, live locally, these folks, but in some cases they live around the tea plantation in India, and they get schooling and housing as well, schooling for their children, daycare. So there's a whole, we try to work with tea suppliers who are taking care of their staff. And I know that our tea supplier from Sri Lanka, one of them, we did a tea class with him last spring, and he was, he's really about about the community and growing the tea and having the people work, and they can go to school. And yeah, so it's a really, there's Boudica right there. So he's making our some teas for us right now. He has some pretty unique ones out he'll be sending to us in the near future. So that's actually a tea tasting. This is how a tea tasting happens. When you travel to Asia, they have these they call degustation sets, and they fill up with all the different teas, and then you go down and taste them. And you can see how there's a cup here, and you're using a spoon to go through. So you're scooping tea and sipping, scooping and sipping. It's kind of interesting because with COVID now, I don't know how that's going to work. Pour it out into separate. I mean, this is inherent in all tea across all countries. They use these degustation sets and spoons. It's whether you go to the tea auction in Japan, or you go to China or Sri Lanka or Korea, they all are using these. It's pretty uniform. India. Yeah, this is a different varietal. So you can see this tea looks a little different, but this is tea. It's a purple, he has a purple hue to it, and it makes his pink green tea, which is kind of cool. It's a green tea that when you add a drop of citrus to it, it turns pink. Pretty wild. Here they are plucking. I think I'm just gonna keep going here so we can get to brewing. So I think I'll stop sharing for now because we're just looking at some more photos, but you can poke through these. I can send this link. And let's see, stop share. Okay, so we can start with some brewing. And I have till 1:15 to hang out, so there's no rush on leaving by 2, or sorry, 1:15, 2:15. And I wanted to ask you is, you know, I thought it would be great to brew one of the greens, one of the oolongs, one of the puers, and then we can also go into, you know, the yellow, whatever you'd like to do. So is anyone we start
Yeah,
with
maybe we could ask Mom if it was there a tea, Mom, that you saw that specifically wanted to make sure we tried?
Not particularly, no.
okay.
Her choice.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so we have the Chinese and the Japanese here. I'm going to start with those. We have our hot water here that's probably cooling down.
Is it hot yet?
No, what temperature do we need to have it?
And what temperature do you want? We've got a tea kettle that'll give us a temperature.
Okay, so on these two here, whoopsie, it's not, it says, I see it says 705 degrees Celsius. It's actually 70 degrees Celsius. So if you have thermometers, these are great.
Push the temperature and start.
You can look at the water and see if it's really heavily steaming, then it's probably too hot. Yeah, this is still at 120. Oh, I don't want to use that one. I'll use this one.
What temperature is she going for?
Which did you want us to start with, Ellen?
I'm sorry?
Which one, can you remind us which ones to start with?
Yeah, so we're going to start with the green tea. Do you want to do a sweeter green, the Chinese, or the brothy or kabusecha? We do either one.
Let's do the sweet one.
Okay. Yeah, so the Putuo, it's this one here. I'll grab my little, actually I'll get the little brew cam going.
What did she say?
Putuo.
Chinese green tea, Mom. It
Yeah.
says 705
Chinese green
Celsius.
tea.
705 Celsius, not gonna happen. It's 70 degrees Celsius, so we have to get the temperature
Okay.
down a little bit.
Karen,
She wants,
it says 158, what's the closest?
there's 160 and 175. So
Yeah, if you go-
160.
If you go 160, then you can always cool it. So pouring it into a vessel, like I poured it into a Pyrex cup here. If you pour it into a Pyrex cup, then you have, it immediately cools some because the glass is cold. So
Is
that's,
it blinking, Karen?
Yes,
Okay, we're good. It'll beep at us when it's hot.
okay.
so, yeah, so you can just open your package. And this little pouch has 2 servings in it. And we weighed it out to, so the industry standard is crossing between metric and the empirical system is 2.5 grams per 6 ounces of water. So and that's just under a tablespoon. So you can estimate here and adjust. All my vessels are 6 ounces that I have today. You can use a measuring cup to measure out exactly 6 ounces. That is pretty handy. Or you can just use half the bag. So that's what I'm going to do.
So this goes in 6
Roughly half
ounces.
the bag.
That would do 2 of us.
This will do 2.
Okay, so if we do 1 package into this and do 2 of us, that would make sense.
Yeah, there should be 2 of each, Karen, 2 of each kind.
Okay,
So a little over here. So the idea is that with this tea, it's re-steepable. So if you can save the other half of the package for later steeping, because this tea you can steep, what does it say? 3 infusions on this one. So you can see here I have 2.5 ounces on my brew can. And so that's plenty for what we're going to do today. Okay. So if you have a small 6 ounce vessel, if you're using a Pyrex measuring cup, if you're using a mug, you can measure out the quantity of water. What I like to do as well, I actually have a little thermos here. If you've been to the tea room, we use these. You don't have to, but I'm using it because it's great for storing water as opposed to my big tea kettle. My tea kettle is just hot water, just a hot boiler, just boils water, doesn't have any fancy temperature. I do like the Breville, though. They seem to be the hardiest of all.
Did you fill that to the top with hot water or just part way or what?
I filled it you do 3/4 of the way with cold water and then it heats. It won't start without cold water.
Oh, it won't.
No.
So I have the hot water here. What I do like to do, if you're using a mug, you can warm it up a little bit. You can warm up your vessels just by pouring hot water through. Pour it into your mug and use the strainer. But you can do that. Then you can discard the liquid. I have an extra bowl. This is that extra dumping bowl.
I need a dumping bowl. I need a couple
Or
of
your sink.
underneath the, you know where they are, Karen?
These
Under the-
bowls, that's what these bowls are for?
No, under the cupboard.
So we have, I'm going to take this tea and put it in my, you can put it in your strainer, I'm putting it in the Gaiwan.
Yeah.
There it is. And I see my water has actually cooled down a little bit. It's down to 150. Adding some more hot water to bring it up.
Karen, is that still going?
140. Temperature here.
Still blinking now, 160.
It might be done.
It's hot. It's
It's
pretty
hot. Okay. So we need to pour.
Well, hot
6
water.
ounces.
6 ounces in this.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like chemistry class, if you remember that. It's all about temperature. So it's all about tea, the type of tea you're brewing, the time you're going to brew it, the length of time, and the temperature. If you remember those 3 things, you will not have bitter tea. So you have to
Chemist. We'll
I'm
get
the
the job.
chemist.
you have to read the package and see what the temperature is. I'm going to brew this, so I'm pouring it now.
6 ounces goes in here?
So you put the water in your cup or wherever you're brewing in,
Then you need to get.
and then you put your lid on if you have a lid.
But that's not touching the water.
The timer for 1 minute. And then I time it for 1 minute. And you can use whatever device or whatever you'd like. I use my watch. You can use your phone. You can use a regular old timer. You can use a minute timer, which I have here somewhere, right here. But I always tend to when I'm doing classes, it's hard to follow this because I'm usually talking on camera.
Just 6 ounces
But
of
it's
water,
not,
Lee?
that's 6 ounces, but it's not sitting in the water.
6 ounces. That's it?
The strainer not reaching the tea, or the tea not reaching the water.
Right.
Yeah. What are you brewing in?
Teacup.
Cups.
Oh, maybe it's too high. Yeah. Can you lower the strainer into the water?
Pardon?
Can you lower the strainer into the water? Like I can do that with this one.
No, it won't go with this one.
Mom, you have other strainers and you have other.
Yeah, I
cups.
do. Maybe this one would work.
Okay, Barbara, this is,
Yeah, the hard part is everyone has something different to brew in probably.
put that down here.
You can do this, we can use this.
Well, let's do that. That makes sense. That makes more sense. We'll do that.
So this one I brewed for about a minute.
That one over there too, we
Well,
can
we
use
put
that.
both of them together and then
Yes.
put both of the waters in.
Okay, we'll get it here in a minute.
Okay, so yeah, just watch your time. You don't want to go over, a minute and a half really. You want to
This
get
and
the
that,
light
and that.
over of it. And
Don't, it needs to be in
strain.
here.
I don't know if everyone else is ready to strain, but you can pour
Yeah.
it or strain it out.
You need to have both of that in there because it'll do two.
Well, then you need double the water. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead and put double the water in it.
See, it's a light color, so it's not dark.
These are great, these are smart.
Shall I run this? in there?
Yes.
I've drank a green tea before and it's always so bitter, but this is not bitter at all.
So you know why it's not bitter? Because of that tea time and temperature. So if you're using boiling water on it, it'll be bitter. If you brew it for 3 minutes, it will be bitter.
Yeah.
And so it's all about that, the tea time and temperature. And this is whole leaf tea, so it's also different than what you might have in
This one
your
needs another one too.
tea bag. It's a better quality because as you look at the
These
leaves
are what I should have, these are the solution to the whole problem.
or in your cup, you'll see that they're quite larger than what you find in a tea bag. So definitely all about that. And then you can just pour it into your cup and take a sip or take it.
Ta-da! Brew.
Is it working? How's Barbara's group doing?
That's because I've got
We're getting there.
Okay.
this kind of a teapot.
Now, how do we save?
Hmm?
How do we save the tea for later to reuse it?
Yeah, so if you want to reuse it after this class, it's not something you want to really save for a few days. You just want to, you can take it and I just kind of scoop it out on the tray that I have, or you can put it in a little bowl. You have a little bowl.
Got little bowls.
Yeah, if you have little bowls or a tray, you can just scoop it out.
That's in the
Purpose of the
water.
tea
That
class.
one's in the water, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That lid's, that little set if you turn it to the right way. No, just turn, just.
What does everyone think of the tea?
There you go.
It's very, very calm.
Now, we can pour it now? How long should it steep?
3 minutes.
1 minute, Mom.
Minute.
1 minute.
Oh,
we're good to
wow, get
go.
it poured.
A minute to 2 minutes, you're safe. A minute to 2 minutes, you're safe. If you are over 2 minutes, it might get a little bitter, but you can pour or take the strainer out, whatever you're doing. But it's a light green in color, this one. And so this tea you can steep again and again and again. So you get 3 or 4 more
We're
steeping
just
out of
not
this
tea
tea.
party types. We're not tea party.
I like it. It's really yummy.
Don't you know the way the proper lady tilts the tea? She holds the lid on the teapot?
So this one here is actually from China. It's a Putuo Island is a
It doesn't need sugar, does it?
no sugar
No.
needed. No, we don't actually, we encourage people to try the tea as it is because tea on its own is fabulous without anything added, if it's good tea. So this is from Putuo Island and monks make it. They have a monastery there. It's there's a you've heard of Tiguanyin, perhaps, the goddess of mercy. And there's an island there with the goddess on there. I think it's actually, there's a photo. You can see her there. That's not the sculpture that's on Putuo Island, but that is the Bodhisattva
A little more in here.
Tiguanyin.
You like it, Karen?
Yeah. Put your finger on the top.
There's that. So you can drink up You can also, if you don't want to drink all this tea, and hopefully everyone has had a snack because it's a lot of caffeine. It is midday. I'm
That
usually
actually came with a tea warmer.
See?
What did you think of it, Mom?
Huh? That's good.
Yeah,
Oh,
you usually don't like green tea, do you?
I didn't think I did.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's probably the boiling water. You have to use cooler water.
Yeah.
You're usually in the one, like the turbostation is only 149 degrees Fahrenheit. So 65 degrees is pretty cool. That's pretty cool water for tea. So if you're using boiling water on everything, that's why. But it sounds like you have a fancy teapot. So now you don't need to burn your tea anymore. So just keep that in mind, tea, temperature, and time. And you'll be much happier with your tea brewing. Oh, somebody's here, Ashley.
Oh, good.
My cat is trying to eat the tea leaves.
They are fun looking leaves.
I'm gonna go on to another one. We've tasted the white tea, the green tea. We could go on to the yellow tea is pretty special too. Or we can go right into oolongs. What would you like to do?
My mom doesn't care for oolong,
Like
so maybe the
oolong,
yellow.
so let's see if we
Okay.
can do
Yeah,
that.
all right. So I'm going to finish this here or dump it. And I'm going to clean this out here onto my tray.
I don't see.
No, the yellow.
The
Barbara,
yellow,
look at
that's
the
a
yellow.
Mang Ding Jiang.
Yeah, Mengding Wanya. So
Here.
berry tips from the Mengding Mountains. So that's a Chinese yellow tea. Very rare. I don't think you've probably seen that before. It is one of the 6 classes. It's a highly prized tea because it is so few producers make it. It's not. The green tea is made by a lot of folks and a lot of producers in China.
Be 107
prized.
Oolong.
So this one is again the same brewing, just a little hotter water. So we should probably have the water.
Which one is the oolong?
Mingding.
No, we're going for the Mengding, the yellow.
Oh, you've got to brew it.
It's Chinese yellow, this one.
Is this the 75 degrees?
Are you seeing that? Is
I
it,
don't see it.
do you see that one? Good. Mengding
Here's
Wong.
the Chinese yellow tea.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's it, Barbara.
Okay.
So Ashley,
Okay.
we're on we've moved on to the yellow, so we did a green
Yeah, we
tea.
have to do something to dump this in.
And we're measuring out again half the bag to brew it. So use your strainer into your
You
mug,
were right in the first place, weren't you?
and you have
Those little dishes.
you should have what am I saying here?
Yeah, we need to take those to the sink and rinse them out. You want me to do that?
I can do it just a minute.
Okay,
And this tea will be separate if anybody wants to use it
it
again.
can be. You don't need that ring. The
No,
black
I
ring.
know, but I got it.
Okay,
Otherwise I'll get them all mixed up.
okay.
So if you want to measure out half the bag, or it's about
Main thing,
45 grams, or about half the bag.
that
Let's
is
go with
so
that.
strange looking tea.
Why don't we just put it all in one pot?
On it.
Put a whole bag and put it all in one pot.
Will it all fit in one?
Yeah.
There's that. All right, so again, we're going to take our hot water and warm our vessel.
This says only 150 degrees, 170.
Yeah, it's a little hotter than the green tea. I'm just pouring water again to rinse out my cup,
This
and
one is 170.
I turned it up.
Okay.
yes, you want to rinse out your vessel and get your old leaves out. Ashley, let me see a cat, another cat.
This is a cat family.
Yeah,
Put one whole one in here and I'll put 6 ounces in. Then we don't have to have so much to drink, I guess.
Ashley, you're making one a whole. Okay, so I'm going to brew this one here. Yellow tea is at 75 or 170 Fahrenheit. My water in the pot there is a little cool, might be too cool actually, but I poured out. Pour some of that out. So we should have hot water in our pot here, enough to bring up the temperature. Hopefully. Or if you have one of those fancy teapots, you can bring it up to a boil one. It's going up to 140. Bring it to be
Line off a little bit.
70.
He's even gonna warm the pot.
Again.
Woo!
Whoa, we're good, we're clicking. It takes 4 of us.
Huh?
It takes 4 of us to click.
You can kind of see your the tea leaves here. They are the difference between with yellow tea is actually it was known as the king's tea or the emperor's tea, and it's got a little bit of a green and smokiness to the leaves. It's also again a leaf tea, a longer leaf tea, similar to the Yinzen. Looks very similar, but is different in flavor. And what they do with yellow tea is they
Have a
smother
cookie
it at the end,
I baked it for the soap.
and it makes it a little, brings out a little smoky quality when they smother it. So it's not smoked, but it has a
I don't think you get the tea.
It's the water, the tea's not in the water, so.
Yeah,
let's
you
put more water in there.
tea in the water. So I'm just gonna brew that up here.
That
Put it in. How's everyone doing with the water and the tea in the water? It sounds like we have some issues with the tea in the water.
There you go.
There we go.
We're good.
Okay. And I have these little thermometers are handy. You can get a candy thermometer or you can get these at LaRue Kitchen here in Portland. It just has a Celsius and a Fahrenheit. This one is only Celsius, but this one is Celsius and Fahrenheit. And you can get these.
Yeah. Have a
We don't
cookie.
offer them now, but we might offer them in the future.
Cookie?
They're pretty
Yeah,
easy.
have a cookie.
1 minute.
1 minute brewing, okay.
So yeah, you're doing 1 minute again. My water's a little hot now. I'm going to actually add some cooler water.
Wow, this has a strong
Mess
smell.
up your palate.
Mhm.
We're gonna mess up our palate.
How
So
are
if
the
you go
cookies?
over a minute, does it make it stronger?
It does, definitely. So you can, what you might want to do is, 2 minutes is fine. It's when when you get over 2 minutes, then it can change the flavor of the tea. So I'm at 75. I'm at the perfect temperature right now. I'm just going to brew it for a minute. Pouring it in. I'm using the same Gaiwan. I'm not using any of my other ones. Just easy to use this one right now. Build it up a little high. We can, move the leaves around. Make sure the leaves are in the water, in the strainer, if you're using the strainer, and the mug or pot or whatever you're brewing in. Hey Siri. What's that timer? Hey Siri.
Oksana, have you tasted this one yet? The yellow?
No, not yet.
The timer for.
What'd you think?
Not,
No,
not.
15 seconds
Not
more.
yet. Oh, okay.
Don't you put
Hey,
it-
kitty.
You have some. We have some,
See if it's got any flavor.
What do you think?
Yeah. I
So
don't.
if you don't like oolongs, I bet I might be able to change your mind on oolongs.
Oh, you might give it a try, Mom.
The tongue ting especially, we can try that one. The Da Hong Pao is a darker oolong. It's what's it called, a strip style. So it's a little more roasty, more like a black.
They've
The tongue ting is more
fermented tea,
floral,
isn't it?
so we could try that one.
Somebody try.
You don't like oolong? I
Oh,
used to drink it all the time and then it turned on me and I couldn't drink it at all.
Well, which one? Do you know what you're drinking? What kind of oolong? Was it a Chinese oolong? Probably.
I don't know.
Okay. So I'm gonna strain this out here.
This is good.
Yeah, you like it, Oksana? Me too.
Yeah.
I would like it a little stronger, actually.
Uh-huh.
You can
that's
brew it a
good.
little longer. So adjusting, I like to brew green teas. They always say,
It's like-
and I always go a little bit longer.
Okay.
No, it did not improve. Something's wrong with my taster. It doesn't get along with oolong.
This isn't oolong, Mom. This is not oolong.
This is yellow.
This is yellow tea, Barbara.
Maybe it's just, maybe whatever.
You're just used to drinking dark English tea.
No, that last one was good.
Yeah, so this tea, so it's how to taste tea. Somebody mentioned smelling it. That's one way to get the aroma, to smell the leaves. Smell, if you have a teapot, smell the lid of the teapot. Because if you put the lid on when you're brewing and you pick it up, or even if you put your nose in your mug or in the strainer with the leaves, you'll still get the aroma of the tea, which is pretty fascinating. And when you're tasting the tea, there's something you do with wine as well. You aerate, so you just kind of like blow bubbles with it.
I'll pass on that one.
So you just kind of bring in some air, and kind of like with so it's like an aerating. If you ever aerated wine, this is air into the tea.
Is there a little bit of smokiness to this one?
That
That's
first
what Mom doesn't like, is the smokiness.
Yeah, you're not liking this. Somebody's not liking the smokiness. The smokiness comes from smothering. So at the end of the processing of this tea, they smother it, and that seals they call it sealing yellow, and it makes it the yellow tea. So you will not find a yellow tea that it always has a little bit of smokiness to it because it is smothered, and that is, so you might not like yellow tea.
And Ellen, is oolong also smothered?
No, oolong. So oolong has a greater range. So you can get a really green floral oolong, like a Taiwanese, like the tongue ting, which I think we should try because we might change some minds. But the tongue ting, it's a really green floral. It picks up fruit. If there's fruit or flowers growing near it, the plants pick up that quality. And so when they process it and they roll it into an oolong, which we'll see in this tongue ting, you'll see that the leaf, this
is going down the
when it unfurls into a full leaf, you get
No.
quite a full flavor. So I will say that oolongs are the highest oxidation range. They're like 10% to 90% oxidized. So they can be little oxidized, or they can be fully oxidized, like the Dahong Pao. That's a darker leaf.
Why don't we try that teapot? Maybe that would make.
So what does everyone think of the yellow tea? Some like it, some.
Let's try it and
Is
see.
there anything left in that teapot?
No,
What do you think? You like the yellow? Yep.
Is this the one that they're talking about?
What are we drinking now?
This is the yellow tea.
no, the next one.
Next one we can, I think we're going to do the tongue ting, the oolong, just to see if we can change some minds. on oolong tea. I love changing minds because some folks will come in and say that they don't like tea, or they don't know, they don't.
We're going in the right direction, aren't we, Karen?
Coffee drinker. I always try to convince them that they'll like tea, and sometimes they do. Most of the
At
time,
least you give your teapot a chance.
we're gonna give the oolong a brew here. So
I don't like green tea, but I would use boiling
I'm
water.
gonna dump my rest of my yellow here.
It could be, you might want it that way.
So you can see that I'm getting a collection here. I'm gonna use my brew cam of my tea leaves on here.
Was it little rocks?
Yes, little rocks.
What is it doing?
With next to the one.
Is this all of it or just the seed?
You can see I have my green tea and my yellow tea on my tea tray here. I'm just storing it on the brew cam for later.
The next one is such a different look. It's not leaves. Well, I'm sure it's leaves, but it looks different.
Yeah, it's very different. So the tongue ting is a roll tea. The Taiwanese are master tea makers. They make some of the best teas in the world. They are highly skilled and highly prized, and probably one of our more expensive, along with the Korean teas. As you can see, I will put and the tea is much smaller in the bag too. So you can see that quantity of tea, that's 5 grams. So these are all measured out to 5 grams. So if you use half of that quantity, you'll get,
And we need it 194, so this one's a hot one, huh?
this is hotter, so you can boil. And I'm putting in 2.5 grams of this tea.
Holy cow, they're little rocks.
They're like little balls, yes. So if you've ever had jasmine tea, they make it a pearl tea. There's a pearl tea if you had gunpowder is a pearl tea. So they roll it up. It's hand processed. Most of them.
It's a little
One
more
here,
water, I
yeah.
guess.
in a sack, and in Taiwan they roll it in a cheesecloth kind of sack, and it is machine rolled. So this one is machine ground, but that's the tea. I'm only brewing a little bit here for 6 ounces.
You want some more tea? You want
So I'm actually going to I like to rinse my tea ware
to cover it?
to get a
Keep going.
flavor, reset the flavor. I have to mix this through.
I can shake it.
I think it's covered.
So how's everyone doing with the brewing?
Holes in the bottom too, Michelle.
How's the strainer working? How's everything working for you?
Holes in the bottom.
All good, I think. Mom, are you guys making it work?
Yes,
Yes.
it's working.
Great. So we're
Lorraine,
going
it takes 4 of us.
Understood.
You have to admit it.
Yeah, look, we worked hard to get to this age. Let's be eccentric and enjoy ourselves.
There you go.
So
And
we have, now we need hotter water. We're getting into our boiling water phase here.
In a minute and a half, Ellen, for everybody?
It's a minute and a half, yep.
You make a mess of yourself.
You can get up to 90.
That stuff's hot. Be careful.
94 Fahrenheit. And this one you can, so oolongs and puers,
Does
you
it
get
keep more water?
the same leaves 5 and a
Karen, I'll
half.
get it.
What is it?
I think I would put some more water in. Like just push open.
Push open and then you'll have to, it's older, so take your thumbnail and pull the lid up by the spout. There you go. It lost its spring.
You've had that a long time?
Yeah,
That's a pretty cool gadget.
yeah.
You ready?
Yes, hold the lid.
More water.
With your pinky up.
Well, she's doing it, the pinky's up.
Hey, Mom, I'm wearing your necklace you got me.
Oh, that's pretty.
Goes well with my shirt.
Yes, it does. How pretty.
Very nice. I thought you'd have all that stuff packed by now.
No, not this stuff. no.
Almost.
Almost. And I got a teapot.
I see that. What does it say? Keep calm and drink tea.
That's great.
I love it.
Everything was packed. She had to go buy one.
Oh, yeah.
And eating another cookie.
All right, so what did you think of this one, Oksana?
Are you doing the, are you on the,
Almost ready.
recorded for a minute and a half?
I've got more in the freezer myself. I baked a whole lot of them.
I wanted to talk about water quality a little bit. Because we have a tea house and because now we realize how important water is. If you have filtered water or if you have well water that's clear.
Another oolong?
Yeah, we're doing an oolong next. But you really should use good quality water because that'll flavor your tea if you don't. Chlorine, use a Brita here.
This one is okay, but it's almost tasteless.
Which one?
It's almost tasteless.
The yellow?
No, she's on the tongue.
Oh, the tongue thing. Oh, you know why? Because the leaves are probably still rolled up, right?
Wow, what is this?
Hard to say. Can you look inside and see? Look in there. Are they still rolled up? Oh, they are.
Mine aren't,
Still
Mom.
rolled up. They need to open more.
How long does it take them to open up?
The second steeping usually is pretty good, and then you'll see
Oh,
that they're
so we'll save those
large
and next
leaves.
time they'll taste better?
Yeah, yep, and then you can brew those same leaves five times more.
My goodness.
Wow.
Wow, it's like very floral to me.
Oh,
Yes,
you
very floral.
Smell.
smell
Wow.
You can smell it. even
Smells
when
like
I haven't
spring.
got my water in there yet. But switch to a different brewing.
It's pretty. isn't
I'm just
it?
sharing with her.
I love this tea.
Like the oolong, yeah. You'll like Alishan. You'll like the red Lalashan that we have. You'll probably like that too. Any of the Taiwanese teas, our Tea Guan Yin is like this, similar.
Is this one? She's already got it? Oh, she's
No.
working on that end.
I'm just
Waiting
getting,
for hot water here. I'm a little late on.
Working hard on
And then
this.
if you're gonna pick another one, is there, what could be kind of different from the rest that's on here?
Oh, they are. I will say the black tea, you can brew it on your own. Just because everyone has had black tea, I don't usually do it in the class unless it's a
Yeah.
special. The Lao Shu, the Menghai are the last, they're the Puer, and I highly suggest one of these. So one is going to be dark and earthy. And the Lao Shu is going to be a little funky astringent. I think the dark and earthy one might be nice to try.
Okay.
There, one is a show, which means it's, the difference between these are, they're on your, if you look at your paperwork, there's a, maybe you've come to the tea room or you've seen tea and it's wrapped, you see the Lao Shu, or there you see the photo with the, it's what they call tea cakes. They come wrapped in a paper, and you break off a chunk, and that's what we have here for the Lao Shu and the Menghai. They both come wrapped in as a nest or a cake. You break off a chunk, and that's what we're going to do here. So we're on to that. Let's spend some time with the tongue ting though. So brewing that a second and third time. Still waiting for boiling water. But the tongue ting is got a lot of great quality to it. It's pretty.
That's the one we just drank.
yeah,
Yeah, the one that we just drank.
that's the one we just had.
Right.
Did you like that one? Anyone?
Not so much.
Not so much. Okay. All right. That one is maybe
Oh, that's the Little Rocks one.
Yeah.
I'll hold off and go right to the tongue.
I'll
Yeah,
probably
it does
taste,
get-
it probably
it does
tastes
get-
good once I brewed it some more.
So we
It
can
does get
try,
darker.
wanna try the Menghai. We can go right onto that one.
Okay.
What's that?
Okay,
Yeah, so Menghai, I kind of color coded these. So these are two Puers. Puer is always made in China, pretty much. There's the Japanese are trying to do a Puer, but it is a Yunnan province tea. So it's a Chinese tea. It is a composted tea. It's pressed into a cake. I'll send you the photo of the photos, that photo slide. It has some tea cakes in there. And this takes boiling water, so you just boil your water 100%. And then we're going to use half of this package of the tea. This is tea that will expand in water, because then when you look at it, if you open it, you can open your Menghai package and give it a sniff. Let's do
Which
that.
one is that?
The Menghai, this one right here.
Oh, okay.
Menghai Tuocha. So Tuocha means tea nest. Menghai is the area, is the region, which you can see on that tea map I shared with you.
Oh, this is too well.
So this one
This is like bark.
That's a darker tea.
it's composted tea, basically.
3 seconds.
It's tea that's been pressed. You can smell it. Very earthy. We're going to brew that up, and that's going to be
30
very.
seconds in 1 minute.
Yes, we're doing that with
Minute and a half.
seasoning. So what we're going to do though, the first
30
time,
seconds to 1
so
minute.
put
yeah,
some.
30
So
so a
here,
minute or so.
so on this tea here, what I'd like everyone to do is take out
Even now.
half the tea package and put it in your pot or whatever you're doing. So you have a second brew to brew on your own. And what you're going to do is you're going to dump off that first infusion, because that's what we do with Puer is we brew, to get the qualities of the Puer out, you need to kind of infuse it once and then dump that out and then brew it again. So we'd like to do that. I'm just going to pour it into my cup here, my Gaiwan. Boiling water, 30 seconds. And it also opens up that nest. That nest is pretty tightly packed and the leaves really expand. So I'm going to
These cookies are just too good.
Don't let me stop you. I got a whole bunch in the freezer.
I'm making myself at home.
Okay.
You can,
I
Oven.
got those at Rennie's.
Mm.
use the right lid. There's the lid for that one. This one is much
Look
darker,
how dark it got the second time.
Yeah.
and it's such a
That's nice.
So what you can do, well, that's going to taste a little different. So you can pour off that first steeping. I'm pouring it off into my discard bowl. We like to do
So
that.
you
with-
get rid of the first batch.
You can not
that
do that,
already.
but we do. It's just nice to have that first,
Okay.
open up the leaf a little bit.
That goes in the sink.
This tea
No,
is
it goes
something
in
for 10
Karen.
times. So let's do it a second time,
You like your tea weak?
and then you can.
I like my tea strong, 'cause then you get your money's worth.
So then you, so now the second one, you're still gonna get that dark brew. And you're just letting it sit for 30 seconds. It's basically pour the hot water in, let it sit for a
I
bit.
never would have guessed that would happen.
And then the strainer is important in this. So make sure you're using your strainer, because the strainer catches all the impurities.
Oh,
I will say puer tea is pressed, it's handmade. It's stepped on, it's put out to dry on a tarp in the driveway at a parking lot of the tea production facility. It's really an interesting tea. It's a very hands-on tea. And so the filter is nice. It strains out impurities. But when you pour this tea, even the second steeping, you can see in my cup here, it's still a dark red tea, right? It's still pretty dark. It's going to have some earthy qualities. Is everyone at this point where they're getting some earthy tea?
Did you try it yet, Mom?
That's good.
You like that one? Yeah.
I don't think you like the smoky, Mom.
So this one here is earthier,
Earthy, but not smoky.
but not smoky. No.
Not smoky. I like the earthy part.
Yeah, the earthy part's good. So we have a
I can taste the parking lot.
Yeah, I will say that this is also hotter. You notice that we're using boiling water as opposed to cooled water. The yellow tea and the way going right to this hot tea, these hot teas are a little different.
Ellen, the one you have there, is that the first pour and then the second pour?
This is the second pour. I took my first one out. So it should look similar to this, maybe a little darker. I used a looser leaf. I didn't use a chunk. There's a chunk still in my bag. So there it is.
You didn't know if you sat on that end, you had a lot of work to do.
So when you brew
That's
the
okay.
other teas, so now that you've brewed a puer, you know how a puer works. So that when you do the Lao Shu, you can brew it similarly to how we brewed this one, 30 seconds.
Lobster
And you
shell.
can steep it. The Lao Shu is going to taste different. It's going to taste more stringent,
really?
a little more greener,
Medicine.
it's wild.
I think you're right.
It reminds me of lobster shells.
I think you're right.
smells fishy.
You know what? This tea reminds me of lobster shells, the fragrance of it.
Smell it. Yes, it does.
It just smells like lobster shells.
Yes, it does.
It's
Yeah, I
delicious.
can see that it does. It smells like sea, like the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. it does.
What does it smell?
Well, either that or my smeller's off.
What do you think, Oksana? Does it smell a little like lobster shells?
What do you think, Oksana and Paul?
I don't know. For me, it's like wood chips.
Wood chips. Yeah, it's got an earthy quality to it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So it's definitely there's a range in puer. So like these darker show puers, they range from this. Some of them might be more mushroomy. Some might be more have a different flavor every time you brew it. Some are really consistently brew the same. That's the thing, like with the oolong tea, which you should probably on that rolled Tongting oolong, explore brewing that tea longer than more steepings, doing subsequent steepings, because you'll get a different flavor with every brew on that tea. So the first one might have been really weak. The second one is going to really open up. The third one will have some different qualities to it. It'll bring out more of the local flavors.
I would have thought that
where
you
the
should
tea is
keep growing
grown.
the same leaves over and over again.
I would never have thought of that. Cool.
What do you think of this one?
What is the Tea Party ladies think of this one?
I like it.
I
Cool.
like it too.
Oh, I
I
like
like this the best because it's got the most flavor.
And
to it.
exactly, it has the most flavor.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other, you have to be very a connoisseur to appreciate
Yeah.
very subtle tastes.
Yeah, you could definitely play around with the green teas and steep them a little longer. That's no problem to do that. You just don't want to steep it more than 2 minutes because then you'll get some of those bitter qualities to it. You can do this a minute if you want it darker. Definitely you don't have to do it in 30 seconds. That's what they do in China. It's really quick steeping. There's a thing called Gong Fu steeping in China where they steep large quantities of tea, like they'll fill half the cup or gaiwan or mug with tea and brew it for 30 seconds and pour it right off. So that's a little faster infusion. We're doing this, 30 seconds to a minute. And then the second and third infusions, you can do even longer if you would like to darken it up. Because the tea is pressed, so it has to open up a little bit. It's still pretty compacted even after the second brewing. So
Yeah, I've been watching the leaves that are the ones that were all rolled up, and now I did it twice more, and it doesn't even look like the same tea anymore.
yeah.
It all opened up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I have a lot of tea here. I've brewed. I'm gonna pour this one off into another cooling pot, a little cooling bowl here.
So Mom, that one that was the little balls, what was that? That was the tongue ting?
That was the tongue ting. Yep.
Yeah, after it opens up, you wouldn't even recognize it.
Oh, it's already opened up and some more?
Yeah, I did another steeping, and it
Okay.
yeah, and even tastes different, I think.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's that tea that opens up, and you'll get a different flavor with each subsequent brew. Yep. And so you should have something similar to this darkness. Still got a lot of steepings left on that Menghai. See how dark and earthy it is in there. It looks so.
It looks
Almost
like
compost,
mulch.
right?
Yeah, it looks like mulch.
Yeah, mulch. Yeah, I'm going to do another one here. So when we serve these in the tea room, we always serve them with a pot of water, and people are re-steeping their teas, multiple times, sitting there for a good hour and a half, just sipping tea and taking the time to try the flavors that come out with each steeping, as you discovered with the oolong. Does anyone have any questions?
Karen, do you run out of little bowls? I've got more little bowls up in that cabinet, different kinds.
No, you dumped the last one of them. We've got an.
Any questions or any
I just turned
more?
this down because it was boiling.
Mom, does the gang have any questions for Ellen?
If they did, they would have asked them. They're not shy.
Barbara hangs out only with very shy women.
Oh, yeah, right.
So you have some other teas to try. So brew these on your own. These are great teas to spend an afternoon with. The Kabusecha is one of my favorites. So is the Dahong Pao, and it's hard not to have a favorite tea, really. But they're a whole bunch more steepings to try. So I know we have only gone over 3 or 4 in this class here today. But definitely brew up the other ones, and just remember that tea time and temperature. Don't use the boiling water on the green tea. Use a little cooler water on the oolongs. You can use boiling water on the pu'er and the black tea.
Are there any other of these that will get better by steeping it the second or third time?
Like the pu'er?
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have there's one called Zhuancha. It's a brick tea, so that's a similar to this one. The Laoshu, this one that I packaged, this one will be interesting as well. It's just greener, so it's more astringent, and not as going to be as dark and earthy. But you can still that'll be a stronger brew. Even the Ceylon Adams Peak, this one here is a high grown black tea, so this one will be darker. Even actually the Dahong Pao, this one here is an oolong, but again, a much darker brew. So you can,
Okay.
yeah, you have a lot of darker options there. And I would not pass off the Yin Zen. So you try that one. It's got a little bit of licorice.
Oh, Mom, you like white teas.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is a very nice, the Yin Zen, the white tea buds, the silver needles is also known as that. These are, if you brew this 2 minutes, that's what we suggest. You'll get some good flavor out of it. So the remaining teas all have a lot more flavor. I think we did the lightest of the teas today between the Menghai and the Putuo. The Putuo is pretty light. And, after a while though, you might find, because when you stop putting like milk and sugar in your tea, you realize that the tea tastes great on its own. And you might, actually really find that you like the Putuo or the yellow tea, because it's light, but it actually, you get used to tasting those flavors and looking for them in tea. That's the difference, I guess. When you start brewing more tea. So anyway, so I'll send you the link to the slideshow. You can poke through that. I can put it in the chat, but it's probably easier just to send it to Sandra and she can forward it on. And then you also have the map to poke around and see where the teas are from. Yeah, and any questions or feedback? How did this work for you all?
This was fun.
It was.
Yeah, that's great.
We should wear hats and gloves.
We could put the little cups with the flowers on.
Yeah.
And now, are you guys going to be looking at in the future to do your in-person classes at some point down the road?
Yeah, we probably will. We did a workshop in March that was virtual and 32 people. We had over 32 people that were interested. We just we topped it off at 32 because we thought it'd be too much for bandwidth. But we will be offering the tea classes. We'll probably do them in person again, but also open the tea room so that people can actually come in and try tea again. That's our goal within the next couple weeks. Definitely a challenging time with staffing. So that's where we're at with that. So I have 3 staff right now and they don't work full time. Only one of them does. So we're hoping to get up to full speed. There's a lot of training, as you just experienced here. They're, learning to have brew tea properly. We're really concerned about that in the tea house. We don't want, awful tasting green tea going out to customers. So you have to, you really, there's a lot of training involved. So we have our staff go through a whole process and become devotees. It takes 2 to 3 months for them to learn all about it, and using the right vessel, using the right temperature. So yeah, we train our staff to be devotees, they call them. So and they get a tea name, so they become a Bilochan or Kabusecha or Darjeeling. It's kind of fun. Or Menghai.
Ellen, can you remind us the one that looks like mulch? Which one is that? That's really growing on me here.
Yeah, that's the Menghai. Menghai
Menghai.
Tulsa. Not the
Yep.
Mending, but the Menghai. Try to find it here. There it is. Yeah, it's this one right here.
Yeah, gotcha. And Mom, that's the one you're drinking right now if you haven't finished it. It's pretty good, huh?
Yes, it is. This one here.
Yeah.
And Ellen, I just wanted to say that I don't know when next time I'm going to be able to go to Dalbraith Tea, but my mom and I, we used to go on dates when I would come back to the States. And it was just the best time.
Oh, that's
And,
nice.
yeah.
Well, let me tell you, if you ever go over to Prague, because you're in Germany,
Yeah.
if you go to Prague, there's Dobras in the Czech Republic.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to. Okay.
There's
Okay.
one that's close. There's probably look them up on the map Google Maps, because there's one that's pretty close to the German border. I have relatives that live in Bad Reichenhall near Salzburg and in Munich and
Okay.
on Neuburg. So I've traveled across to visit in Prague, and so you can go check them out.
Perfect. Mom, fly out to Prague.
Yeah, I know.
I know one day maybe we'll be able to do it all in person. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, Ellen, thank you so much. This was really fun.
Well, thank you. And if you have any questions after, let me know. We're open to answering questions anytime.
Broaden our horizons.
There's a couple people that didn't make it, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we have what, 1 or 2 people that didn't make it? Is that correct? Brian.
Brian didn't make it.
Yeah,
he
Brian couldn't make it today.
Okay. All right.
We'll give him heck.
Yeah, and I have a recording of
You
this.
bet.
Share. All right, well, thank you, everybody, and have a happy Mother's Day, and have a good weekend.
What'd you
Thank
say?
you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.